South Acres Field on this Wednesday evening, August 26th. We're here for game number 3 in a best of 5 semi-final action in the Gentlemen's Slow Pitch League. The Press Republican trailing 2 games to nothing to the defending champion Rigsbee's auction team. And if Clara Peller were alive and here, she would be asking the press, where's the beef? Last night they were outscored 7-5 in the previous game, 9-6. The Press, known as one of the most powerful hitting clubs in the area, their bats have been relatively quiet. Rigsbee's will be the home team. Press will bat first. Rigsbee's saying a last-minute prayer here. These guys have got to loosen up and get a little more excited there. A little too quiet, I think. Let's see if I can figure out the defense here. I once again don't have a lineup in front of me. I don't think there's any changes out there. For Rigsbee's, we have Dan Karen pitching, Ed Castine behind the plate. First base, Gary Fassett. Second base, Alan Fassett. Shortstop, Lonnie Cleland. Shortstop, Randy LaValle. Left field, Glenn Fassett. Left center field, Keith Riel. Right center field, Brian Foster. Right field, Mark Riel. Umpire Mike Collier on the bases. Doug Stevens going to coach first to start the game. Umpire behind the plate tonight from the Mr. Sub team, Art Guerin. And in case you don't know, the umpires are on strike here in the Gentlemen's League, so they brought in an umpire from Keysville, and they've got some of the players from the league umping. John Flynn is going to lead off the ball game. He'll be the pitcher. He'll be followed by Jack Daly and John Musso. Dan Karen getting comfortable on the pitching rubber, and the first pitch of the ball game to John Flynn. Ball 1. Line shot, base hit to right. Foster will pick it up. And Flynn with a leadoff single to start the ball game. Let's bring up left fielder Jack Daly. Left-handed batter. Pitch from Karen. Strike 1. On the ground. Set to Cleland for 1. They concede Daly. He would have had it made if they'd bothered with the throw. Cleland very wisely held it up. So Flynn is erased. Daly reaches on the fielder's choice, and the batter, John Musso. The pitch goes the opposite way, as he likes to do. Keith Riel grabs. Daly's going to be out at second. Keith Riel gets Jack Daly going into second. And the Press goes down with nothing in the first half of the first inning. We go to the bottom of the inning, bottom of the first, with no score in the ball game. Team manager Gary Fassett would lead off the bottom of the first for Rigsbee's. Defensively for the Press, John Flynn pitching, Jim Garrett behind the plate, Ben Haley at first, Tom Renane at second, Mike Boyer at short, John Musso at third. In left field, Jack Daly. Left center field, Randy Senecal. Right center field, Rich Bissell. Right field, Ricky Vaughn. First pitch of the game to Rigsbee's is strike one from Flynn. On the ground. Up and over Boyer's arm. And Rigsbee's has the lead runner on. Game number 3 in the best of 5. Rigsbee's leading in the series 2-0. A win tonight would put him in the finals. Brian Foster. Strike one. The winner here takes on the winner of the K&L Barcombe series. Bissell grabs. We have one out. Better now, Mark Riel.
Step. Never the box. Never the box and go the other way. You're making you pull the ball. You never do everything. Come on, guys.
Ball.
Never the box. Come on up on him.
Slow comebacker. Foul ball.
Watch it hit your back. Move up. Come on, move up. You can take the deep one to left field. Time to change now. Attack that ball.
Team manager Gary Fassett trying to get Riel to move up in the batter's box. Go to second. Bouye will get the force at second. And no chance for the double play. So 2 down. Cleanup batter. Let's see, it should be Keith Riel, we'll see. Cleveland on deck. This is indeed Keith Riel. With Mark Riel at first. 2 outs, bottom of the first inning, no score. Riel hits the first one deep. Going back, it's gone. Yes. A 2-run home run, and we'll have 2 Riels crossing the plate. Mark followed by Keith. Touches them all. And Rigsbee jumps off to a 2-0 lead in the bottom of the first.
Come on, Lonnie. Just like the other right, Lonnie. Get up, Lonnie, and move it around. We got to score 3-4 every time. Come on, please. Come on,
Shortstop Lonnie Cleland, the batter. Ball one. Ball.
Come on, Lonnie. Get down.
Randy Senecal tosses it in. And Cleveland will have a single with 2 outs. And a batter, Glenn Fassett, the left fielder. Strike one. Ball. 1-1. 2-1. Good under it. Should be playable. Daly will grab it. Glenn Fassett trying to dam the ball. Or maybe it's the bat. I'm not sure what it is. But he gave it an 18 damn it after that. And we're going to go now to the top of the second inning with the score. Rigsbee's 2, the Press nothing. Ben Haley, Big Ben, lead off the top of the second inning. His team trailing 2-0. And a pitch from Dan Caron. Ball one, in tight. Ball 2. Ricky Vaughn on deck. Strike. 2-1. Strike. 2-2. Hit the corner of the mat. Back corner. And the pitch, 2-2 pitch, in tight. 3-2, we're going to have a payoff pitch. Haley hits it high. A lot of room in left. Glenn Fassett will grab it, and we have 1 down. Batter now, Ricky Vaughn, the right fielder. Pitch from Karen. Strike 1. Jim Garrett on deck. Randy Senecal will follow him. Foster pulls it down. We have 2 outs. And John Hart showing up to cheer his part-time teammates on. Batter Jim Garrett, the catcher. Pitch from Karen. Strike 1. On the ground. That's through. Mark Riel will toss it in. Oh, 2-out single for Jim Garrett. And the batter, Randy Senecal. Pitch. Ball 1. Strike. Strike 2. Hit the front of the plate. Foul ball, 3rd strike. ASA softball rules. Foul ball on the 3rd strike is an out. We go now to the bottom of the 2nd with the score, Rigsbee's 2, Press nothing. 3rd baseman Randy LaValle will lead off here in the bottom of the 2nd. Team leading 2-0. Pitch from Flynn. Ball 1. Ball. Strike, 2-1. Base hit. Gets away from Bissell. All the way to the fence. They're going to hold LaValle at 3rd with nobody out. So a single that got under the glove of Rich Bissell is turned into 3 bases. And the pitcher, Danny Karen, will step in now. Pitch to Karen. Line right back to Flynn. Nice grab by the pitcher. And we have one down. And second baseman Alan Fassett will step in now. Ed Castine on deck.
Come on, Tinner. Your pitch, Tinner, your pitch.
In the gap. Bissell will pick it up. And to Manane, and he's going to be in here with 3 bases. A triple for Alan Fassett makes it 3-0. The batter, Eddie Castine. I think he has orders to hit the ball in the air. Top of the order to follow him. I think they want to get that run in, so they're telling the number 10 man in the lineup, hit the ball in the air. Mike Collier over adjusting third base, securing it. 1 out. So a sacrifice fly would score Fassett. That's a base hit. Senecal cuts it off. Now we have a 4-0 ball game. With 1 out, top of the order coming up, team manager Gary Fassett. Ball. Has a base hit.
Be patient up there. Pull the ball.
Well, Rigsbee's going for the kill here, trying to get it over in 3 straight. Want to sweep the series.
Get it moving down there, Laval.
Right center fielder Brian Foster, the batter. When I first started doing these softball games, I got accused by some people of inventing positions out there. They didn't realize that there were 4 outfielders. Randy Senecal, the left center fielder, grabs. Safe at second. So both runners move up. Well, I would say someone was left center fielder and right center fielder. There were a few people who couldn't quite understand that. But there are 10 defensive ball players in slow pitch softball. Mark Riel, the batter. 2 outs. 4-0 to score. Bottom of the second. Runners at second and third. Base hit would probably score 2. Bissell should have it. He's back and he's got it. It was a more interesting catch than I'd envisioned. Well, 2 across for Rigsbee's. We go to the 3rd inning with Rigsbee's leading the press 4-0. Michael Boyer, shortstop, lead off the 3rd inning. Ball 1 from Dan Caron. And a pitch. Strike, evens count at 1-1. Original forecast had called for a little precipitation this evening. Long fly to Glenn Fassett. We have 1 down. However, there's not a rain cloud in sight. It is overcast, but does not feel like rain by any means. Rich Bissell with Tom Renane on deck. 1 out. Strike 1 from Karen. Rigsbee's looking to get this over in 3. Earlier this evening, Barkholm's TV took a 5-3 win against K&L Plumbing and have extended their series to game number 4. K&L leads in that series 2-1. K&L Rigsbees would cause a rematch of last year's finals should both of them reach the finals this year in the Gentlemen's League. Rigsbees are defending champions. They took K&L, then known as Beaumont Lanes, took them in 4 games last year in the best of 5. This is second baseman Tom Renane. 2 outs, nobody on. Top of the 3rd inning. Strike 1. On the ground, that's going to be through. Well, not quite through. Cleveland slowed it down. But even if he'd fielded it cleanly, would not have been able to get Renane at first. Too deep in the hole for that. Top of the order now, John Flynn, the pitcher. 2 outs and a base runner. Pitch from Karen. Ball. Over Glenn Fassett's head. That'll score Renane. Throw comes into 3rd. Renane scores. It's now a 4-1 ball game. And Flynn with an opposite field double over the outstretched glove of Glenn Fassett. And the Press has their first run of the ball game. Batter now Jack Daly. We're going to have a little discussion here. The runner cannot run into the fielder when he's in the act of fielding the ball. And the umpire, Mike Collier's judgment. Collier says there's an obstruction. Flynn arguing the call. Opinion behind me is that there was no collision at all. Looked like they did touch. Looked like a good call from here. 1 run across for the Press. We go to the bottom of the 3rd now with the score 4-1. Rigsbee's leading the Press.
Where's that chatter there?
Keith Riel, the cleanup batter, he hit a home run in his first trip to the plate. He'll lead off here in the bottom of the 3rd. His team leading 4-1. Ball 1 from John Flynn. Strike. Ball.
Come on, man.
Ball 4. Ball 3. Ball 3. Keith Riel thought it was ball 4. 3-1, Art Guerin says. Well hit. Senecal pulls it down. One down. Batter now shortstop Lonnie Cleland. Hard hit, base hit through the left side. Senecal fires it in. Cleland with the base hit. And the batter, left fielder Glenn Fassett.
Come on, Glenn! Base it!
And a pitch from Flynn. In tight, ball one. Ball two. One out. 2-0. Bouye. Monet to first, double play. Oh, the press turns 2, 6-4 to 3. And we'll see if that'll pick up their bats as we go to the 4th inning, with the Rigsbees leading the Press Republican by a score of 4-1. John Musso, the batter, to lead off the 4th inning. Top of the 4th. Rigsbees with 2 runs in the first, 2 in the second. Press with 1 run in the third. Score 4-1. Base hit for Musso. Mark Riel tosses it in. And the Press has a base runner with Ben Haley, the batter. And a pitch from Caron. Under it. If it stays in play, it does. Thought it was going to go toward the fence more. I set an easy play on it. Came off the bat. I thought it was heading for the fence. It ended up being almost a fair ball. Fassett grabbed it in foul territory. Haley is out, and Ricky Vaughn, the batter.
Come on, pitch him back. Good pitch, down it.
Line shot to Fassett. 2 down. Musso stays put. Press has already had 1 man thrown out, trying to go to second on a fly ball. 2 outs. Jim Garrett, the catcher, the batter. He also, along with Haley and Vaughn, has the power to poke it over. Strike 1. I think he has 1 home run in this series. Got under it. Everybody in the Press team, shouldn't say everybody, but probably too many of the Press team trying to put it over the fence instead of going for the base hits. And after 3.5, we go to the bottom of the 4th, with Rigsbee's leading 4-1. Third baseman, Randy Chico Lavalle, will lead off here. Bottom of the 4th, his team leading 4-1.
Come on, Chico!
Ball 1. Umpire behind the plate tonight, Art Guerin. A year ago was on that Beaumont team that played against Rigsbee's. This year he switched teams, went over to the Big Brother Club. Big Brother lost to Latchmores in the quarterfinals. A leadoff single here for LaValle. And Rigsbee's has a base runner with nobody out. And a pitcher, Dan Karam, stepping in. Strike one. Ball one. 1-1. 2-1.
Come on, Gunnar, come on, baby. Come on, get ahead. Come on.
2-2 evens the count.
Go, 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 go. Come on.
Musso to second, to first, double play. Round the horn. And around the horn, double play. Good play by the press. Let's bring up second baseman Alan Fassett.
Come on, Jenner.
Ball one. Ball two.
Good eye, Jenner, good eye. We'll take you on.
2-1. Bottom of the fourth. 4-1 the score. Game 3 in the best of 5 up the middle. That's a base hit. And Eddie Castine, the batter. He singled up the middle to drive home Fassett. His last trip up there, Fassett had tripled. Pitch from Flynn. Strike.
Go, go, go.
Flynn will toss to first. Nothing across for Rigsbee's for the second time tonight. They scored 2 in the first, 2 in the second, nothing in the third, nothing in the fourth. We'll go to the top of the fifth with Rigsbee's leading the press 4-1. Randy the Cat Senecal lead off the fifth inning. Team trailing by 3. This press an explosive club. Knocked down by Fassett. One of the most exciting games we saw this year was a game that the press and K&L took to 11 innings. Final score on that one was K&L 23, the Press Republican 22. Mike Bouye, the shortstop. Looks at strike one. Bouye with a well hit ball. Foster grabs. Senecal stays put. Bouye gave it a good ride, but it's a long out. And Rich Bissell, the batter. Ball one. One out, runner at first. Top of the fifth. Popped up.
I got it.
Alan Fassett grabs. We have 2 down. And second baseman Tom Murnane, the batter.
Now it's time. Come on.
Senecal on at first. He led the inning off with a single. Strike one to Renane. Ball. Off his glove, Glenn Fassett. Easy play. Here comes Senecal. Throws off the mark. Senecal scores. It's now a 4-2 ball game. Garrett trying to convince Art Guerin is out of play. And Guerin says yes. It was out of play. Oh, ball was out of play, and Renane will go to third base. He gets an extra base out of it. So heads up, coaching yard third base by Jim Garrett. It's his team an extra base. It's 4-2. John Flynn representing the potential tying run with 2 outs. Top of the 5th inning. And the pitch. Base hit. That'll make it 4-3.
Come on, Jack. Let's go.
And batter Jack Daly with John Musso on deck. Potential tying run at first base. 4-3, top of the 5th. Pitch from Karen. Ball 1.
Hit the ball hard, Jack. Hit the ball hard.
Popped up. Gary Fassett calling. He grabs it in right field, deep. Actually halfway out there in right field by the time he caught up with it. They play left-handed batters deep. Well, the press picks up 2 in the 5th. We'll go to the bottom of the inning with Rigsbee's leading the press 4-3. Team manager Gary Fassett leading off to the bottom of the 4th. Strike 1. Pitch from Flynn. Ball 1. 1-1. Center field. Senecal grabs. Line shot from Fassett, but we have 1 out. Batter now Brian Foster, the right center fielder. Pitch from Flynn. Runs up, drives it to left center. It's a base hit. Ooh, base hit to get things going here in the bottom of the 5th. Mark Riel, the batter. 1 out. Runner at first. Goes the opposite way. It gets past Bouye. Daly scoops it up and runs it in. Oh, good stroke there by Mark Riel. This will bring up Keith Riel. Doesn't look that big, but he can poke it out of here. He did that in the 1st inning. Pitch from Flynn. On the ground, went for the hit. Haley goes to second. Oh, Haley with a good move through to second. Got Mark Riel, so we have Keith Riel at first. Brian Foster at third. Runners at the corners with 2 outs. And a shortstop, Lonnie Cleland, the batter. Cleland also a serious threat to poke it out of here. Pitch from Flynn. Well hit. Daly will grab. Nice catch by Jack Daly on a liner. Nothing across for Rigsbee's in the 5th. After 5 full. The score, Rigsbee's 4, the Press 3. To start the 6th, John Musso swings at the first, offering a base hit. Gets away from Mark Riel. Musso representing a potential tying run. Is going to be in at third. So a single is played into 3 bases. And a potential tying run is on at third base. And the batter, Ben Haley. You figure the worst he's going to do is tie the game. He's going to hit it high and long if he can. Dan Caron is going to try to get him to hit his pitch. Going to hit something on the ground. Strike 1. Haley will head for the downs. If he doesn't get it out, he'll at least tie it. That's gone. It's gone, a home run. And we have a 5-4 ball game as Big Ben Haley wasted a little time, poked that over the left field fence. He's trotted around those bases before, more than anybody else in North Country. And the score now in the 6th inning, the Press 5, Rigsbee's 4. Batter now, Ricky Vaughn. He's got the power also to hit it out of here. Consistent hitter, long ball hitter. Consistent long ball hitter. Dan Caron in the pitch. Strike 1. As I said earlier this evening, the Barcombs extended their series. They took game number 3 from the K&L club to stretch their series to at least 4 games. K&L led in that series 2-0. They now lead in that series 2-1 as I'm taping this. Rigsbee's leads in this series 2-0. Vaughn hits it deep. Foster right at the fence. Deep as he could go. Vaughn sent Foster back as far as he could without hitting it over. We have 1 out, and Jim Garrett, the batter. We'll see if Garrett will go for the long run or go for the base hit. Ball. Ball. 2 balls, no strikes. Strike. Ball 3. 3-1.
Give it a look, Buddha. Give it a look.
Ball 4. So Garrett takes the walk. He goes to first, and Randy Senecal, the batter. Ball 1. On the ground. LaValle will go to second. The first, not in time. Gary Facette wasn't sure if his brother's foot came off the bag a little too soon. He fired it back to Allen. Allen wasn't looking and hit him in the back. But the umpire had called Garrett out. 2 down. And shortstop Mike Bouye, the batter. Strike 1.
Come on, Mike.
Keith Riel grabs it. So 2 across for the Press in the 6th. We'll go to the bottom of the inning with the Press now leading by a score of 5-4. Left fielder Glenn Facette tried to hit it out. I don't think it's deep enough. Daly will be back and he'll take it. 1 down.
Come on, Chico, start it up.
So Facette trying to tie it. Batter now Randy LaValle, the third baseman. Bottom of the 6th inning. The Press leading Rigsbee's 5-4. Rigsbee's looking to get this series over in 3 straight. The Press trying to make a comeback to stretch it out to at least game 4. On the ground, Flynn almost knocks him down over to Haley. We have 2 down. And Dan Karen, the batter. Rigsbee's needs at least a couple of base runners this inning. I have Alan Facette on deck and Ed Castine to follow him. If Karen were to go out, we'd have the 9th and 10th batters coming up to lead off the 7th, and that's what we're going to have as Haley tosses it to John Flynn. So they'll lead off the 7th inning. Rigsbee's are going to have their 9th and 10th place batters coming to the plate. We'll go now to the top of the 7th with the score, the Press 5, Rigsbee's 4. It'll be Rich Bissell, Tom Renane, and John Flynn for the Press in the top of the 7th. Pitch from Dan Caron is in there, strike 1.
Come on, guys, come on, guys! You never know, Rick!
Keith Riel pulls it down in left center. We have 1 down. And the batter now, the second baseman, Tom Murnane.
Come on, get something cooking here, Tommy. Come on.
Pitch from Caron. Strike 1.
Defense! Tough, Danny.
2 strikes. Came dangerously close to my car over there. Ball just barely. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Bring your shovel.
Real drops it. A sinking liner. And Keith Riel dropped it. Well, 1 out, top of the order coming up now, the base runner and John Flynn, the batter.
Come on, John Flynn. Trying to go up and away on you, big guy. Come on, just hit the ball hard. Right.
Strike one to Karen. From Karen to Flynn. Ball. 1-1. Glenn Fassett grabs. There'll be no advance. Murnane will stay put. Flynn likes to go the opposite way. Batter now Jack Daly. John Musso on deck. Pitch from Karen. That drops in. Brian Foster fires it in. Murnane back in time. Foster, when he saw it was going to drop in, backed up and charged it to get something extra on that throw. A big batter here coming up for the press. 2 outs. 2 down. John Musso the batter, but Ben Haley on deck. Press only leading by 1. Top of the 7th, 5-4. A big at bat here. Strike 1. Foul ball. Foul by about a yard. No balls, 2 strikes. So Caron in the driver's seat. Musso is going to fly out. Line shot. Keith Riel pulled it down. We got an exciting ball game as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Our score, the Press Republican 5, Rigsbee's Auction 4. A big break here for Rigsbee's Auction. Steve Chris has arrived at the ballpark. Alan Fassett leads off for the liner for John Musso. Steve Chris will now come in and bat. He'll bat for Ed Castine. Chris, a definite home run threat. He has just gotten here from an American Legion game in the West Plattsburgh League. They had an 8 o'clock start time there. This game here was an 8:30 start time. So Steve Chris, with the timing of the cavalry arriving here, I didn't hear a trumpet blowing, but he's here to save the day for Rigsbee's. And a pitch. Base hit. So Rigsbee's has a base runner on in the top of the order coming up with 1 out. And they're going to put Eddie Castine back in to run. Well, Chris did his job, and Castine's going to run for him now. The Press has a player from the Legion 2. He hasn't shown up. However, that's Alan Rock, a shortstop. Strike 1 to Gary Fassett. Tying run at first. Bottom of the 7th. Could be 2. The 2nd to first. Not in time. A little slow getting somebody over there to cover. Flynn had the ball in time. He had to hold his throw up going to 2nd. 2 outs. Brian Foster the batter. Mark Riel to follow. So Press 1 out away from extending this series to game number 4. They lead 5-4 in the bottom of the 7th with 2 outs. Foster with a line shot. That's a base hit. Throw gets away. It's going to tie the game. Throw got away at short. And if you look out there, you'll see left fielder Jack Daly standing out at his position. He should have been in here backing up. This was a K&L club. The people in the outfield will be backing up on a ball hit to the right field. The left fielders get in here and back up the plays. The ball got away going to second. Went to the fence. And Rigsbee has tied the game with a potential winning run. At second base, Mark Riel, the batter, and a very dangerous Keith Riel on deck. Over a base hit would win it, and out would send us to inning number 8, strike 1. Ball 1, 1-1. Slow comebacker. Flynn will go to first. Safe at first. Safe at first. Looking at it for the first time without looking at the replay, it looked like a good call. I'll have to check the replay on it to see for sure. It looked like a good call. The press now has a decision. Do they put Keith Riel on and pitch to Lonnie Cleveland? If they put Riel on, they'll move the potential winning run to third base. I would pitch to Riel.
You're gone right now.
I'm talking to them.
No, you're not. You're talking to them.
I'm talking to them.
I don't care. You're gone.
You gotta make sure I'm talking to you. You gotta make sure I'm talking to you. I'm talking to my man. How do you know? I'm walking over here talking to my man.
Umpire player Mike Collier has thrown Ben Haley out of the game. Oh, Haley is gone.
Harvey!
You got hard. What's going on? You don't have them.
John Hart is going to come in the game. John Hart coming in the game. I know Ben was chirping, but he wasn't saying anything directly to the umpire. Seems like a inopportune call. Down to the potential last out of the game. I don't know. I question the need for throwing Haley out of there. If he was talking to Collier, he wasn't looking at him. It was not doing anything that would embarrass him with the fans or the other spectators or the rest of the ball players. I question the need for that call. The batter now, Keith Riel. John Hart moved behind the plate. Jim Garrett has gone to first. And the Hart has been taken out of this press team. And a pitch to Riel. Ball 1. Ball 2. Not going to give him anything. They're going to give him nothing and pitch to Cleveland. Too much arc. Ball 3. A walk would put the potential winning run at third base. I'd also set up a possible play at any plate. Ball 4, Riel walks. Foster goes to third. Mark Riel goes to second. And Lonnie Cleland steps to the plate. 2 outs, tie ball game. 5-5 in the 7th. Bottom of the 7th. Pitch. Strike 1 to Cleland. Cleland will either be the last batter of the ball game or else we'll have an 8th inning. And it's going to be a base hit. And there's the ball game. There's the ball game. Final score here. Rigsbee's 6. The Press 5. Rigsbee's comes up with 2 runs in the bottom of the 7th. So Rigsbee's will advance to the finals. The Press will call it a season for 1987. Rigsbee's will go on. The Rigsbee's team unusually quiet for something like this. I think they are a little unhappy about the way it ended. They're happy that they won, but a little unhappy that it came with those type of circumstances. It took some of the satisfaction away. Final score once again as Rigsbee's goes to the finals in the Gentlemen's Slow Pitch League, 6-5 with 2 runs in the bottom of the 5th and bottom of the 7th to win it.